What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? You're listening to another installment of Sandlot Sports Talk. I'm Tom the Truth Harnish. We got Mike Janikos over there. What's going on, Mike?
Tommy boy, how you doing? That was a worse introduction than last
we got
week.
Anthony Perani
Horrible
over here.
introduction.
I'm sorry.
I
You
like
usually
it
do
last
this.
week when you had that funny voice going on.
Oh, that was good.
That wasn't him.
What? That wasn't me. That was Seymour.
That was Seymour.
Anyway, we got a special guest here joining us live. Former West Virginia Mountaineer, former Tennessee Titan draft pick, and former Cincinnati Bengal, John Thornton. Are you there, buddy?
I'm there, man. How you guys doing?
How you doing, John?
Doing real good.
Good.
Doing real good.
Thanks for being on.
No problem, man. Should be a good time.
So, John, a lot of Bengals fans are hitting the panic button now that Leon Hall went down with the Achilles injury and they lost to Pittsburgh. Tell us not to jump off the cliff.
Well, nah, you shouldn't jump off the cliff. I was in a grocery store tonight in Kroger, and some guy was ready to give up on the season as well. So I know a lot of fans they expected the team to win the rest of their games, but I think it's a good team. I think it's a young team. I think next year they're going to be really good, and I felt that all along. But they happen to play a lot of inexperienced teams, and they beat them. And now I think they're a good team. They just lost last week to a better quarterback. So this right here will be a good game against Baltimore to sort of judge them. But I still think they're in a contention for the wild card. So that's pretty good considering how they came into the season.
That's true. Like I tell the people, this is like the icing on the cake. No one even expected them to win 6 games. And
No, I mean, it's like, I kind of think they're playing with house money. Just, you got a new quarterback. He's not only new, he's a rookie. And got rookie receivers. It's just a young team, a new offensive coordinator. You didn't have an offseason. You really didn't expect the defense to play this well. You're sort of playing with house money. You got 2 first-round picks in next year's draft. So to me, you just want to develop all of this young talent. If you get into the playoffs, good. If you don't, these guys still going to have a lot of experience. So, I don't look at anything they do right now as bad. As long as they're not coming out getting blown out, I still think the team's going to be fine.
So what do you think the turnaround, that team, why they turned around so fast?
It always happens like this. Marvin's teams, when they go through a bad year, they always bounce back usually. They did it in '08, came back in '09 and bounced back, played well. Yeah, you had an easier schedule. Did the same thing. 2010 was bad, and this year they came back and played pretty well. So, they got younger players. They got playmakers in A.J. Green. Dalton hasn't played great, but he hasn't turned the ball over a lot. He did last game. And they lost to the San Francisco 49ers. He had 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter, too. So when he doesn't turn the ball over, they have a chance to win. So that's why I think it is. I don't think it's, a whole lot of people are saying because they got rid of Carson or Chad. I just think it's, they got some playmakers, and they faced teams that were unsettled just like them, and they were just tougher. And the Bengals have a good defense. So all of that mixed together, they started out 6-3.
And that's more than you could hope for. So,
yeah.
You got a question about Albert Haynes? He's a big Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan over here, Anthony Perani.
Yeah, John, I wanted to ask you about your former teammate there, Albert Hainsworth. It was when he signed the big contract, there was the chance, or most people felt, that the production would drop off. He'd lose his motivation. There was the excuse of moving to a 3-4 defense out of the 4-3. He's back in a 4-3 now. I mean, does this guy have any shot to recapture anything that he had in the past, or is his love for the game completely gone? What do you think?
I don't know about his love for the game. I haven't talked to Albert, since probably about 4 years ago when we played against him. I haven't talked to him. So he's a player with a short fuse.
Mm-hmm.
He loses his temper very quickly, but that's good when you play football because he did it a lot when he played, and that's why he got some of the penalties during the game that he did. So he's a different guy. He needs a different type of coach. Jim Washburn in Nashville, when he was with the Titans, he knew what buttons to push. Jeff Fisher knew what buttons to push. Jim Schwartz knew what buttons to push. So he had a strong set of coaches around him. The players respected him. He respected his teammates in Tennessee. They all were tough. And, he responded that way. He came to us in 2002 when he was the first-round pick. our team was already established, and he just came in. He didn't start until like week 13. He wasn't even playing a lot because he couldn't play like us. And we were a tough group, and we played hard. And so he just had to learn on the run, and he became one of the top guys in the league. And he went to the Redskins. They gave him a bunch of money, but they didn't have the same system. They didn't have the same coaching staff. And he probably didn't respect that. So he's, like I say, he's a different guy, and you don't know what motivates guys like that. But hopefully he understands that he's on his last leg, his last chance. And, it should work in Tampa because they have a good defense for him. If the coaches just let him play, he'll be fine. But, if he doesn't want to play, he's not going to play, and he won't be in the league long.
Yeah, it could just scare me a little bit with if Belichick couldn't motivate him to play. I just didn't see it happening in Tampa. But hopefully moving to a 4-3 gives him a little more freedom. He can be back to a shell of his former self.
Yeah, and he's not really a disciplined technique kind of player. Even in Tennessee, they would line him head up on a guard and let him sort of dominate his guy and fall into the gap that he fell into. So they didn't make him play, okay, you got the B gap on this play and you don't get out of the B gap. He might have tossed his guy in the B gap and went the A gap and still made the play. And that's just how he played. And I remember going on a visit to Detroit when I left Cincinnati and, with Jim Schwartz, and he was just saying, listen, you know how we play our defensive tackles. You guys got freedom to play the blocks how you want as long as you get it done. And all coaches don't give you that kind of freedom. And I think that's the reason why a lot of guys from Tennessee will leave and don't have the same success. A guy like Javon Curse, he left Tennessee. He was a great player, went to Philly where it was a more disciplined system. They made you read blocks a little more, and he wasn't the same player. And people just thought that he wasn't that good, but it was just how he got coached. So, I hope Albert turns it around, but that's going to be up to him. I mean, he made a bunch of money. He didn't get that whole contract, but he made some money, and so I hope he get to Tampa and get going again.
Me too. I'm with you on that.
Hey, John, I'm going to take you back to your heyday, buddy, and talk a little bit about your experiences in the NFL. Drafted by the Tennessee Titans, second round, 99. 2000 was your big year, right? 55 tackles. And then with the Bengals in 2003, career high 6 sacks. And in my opinion, just if we can give you another reintroduction, played the game right, played the game how it's supposed to be played, with passion, a team guy, anything for the team, and we appreciate that on this show. So my question is there a moment in your career that you can highlight, or maybe a team or a season that stands out that was special?
Well, my first year was special because, obviously it was the first one, but, I went to a special team in Tennessee. It was the first year in the new stadium, and the team was just a tough throwback kind of team. The guys had moved around. They came from Houston in 96, and they moved to Memphis in 97 and played in the Liberty Bowl. And then they went and played in Vanderbilt Stadium in 1998. And then in 1999, when I was drafted, they got the new name, the Tennessee Titans. They dropped the Oilers. And, when I first got there, we were in trailers in some mall parking lot where they had the meeting set up. I mean, it was just really a bootleg system. But then when training camp broke, we went into this whole new facility. It was like all the guys were happy. So, I mean, as young guys, we sort of felt the older guys' pain, and we just wanted to play well. And, that team was special. We went 13-3. We won a bunch of big games and ended up going to Super Bowl. So that was probably the most special year. But they all were fun. They all were meaningful. But the most special one was that first one, went to the Super Bowl, just because it was my first year. And then playing with guys like Eddie George, Steve McNair, Frank Wycheck, Javon Curse. And then, it was just so many guys down there that, we just had a good time. We were probably the toughest team in the league. We didn't get a lot of respect. We just went out there and played hard.
It's a good segue because you brought up Frank Wycheck, and Tom's got a great question. I thought this is very interesting. I never knew this before. Go ahead, Tom.
So I heard this interesting tidbit you were talking about on the Cincinnati radio the other day. That was the Music City Miracle year, right?
Yeah, that was that year.
And every Saturday you would practice that special play that you used to beat the Bills, and you were the guy that would take the handoff from Lorenzo Neal and toss it across the field.
Well, what we did was, like, when we had the normal kickoff team, I was on that. It was me, Lorenzo Neal, and it was somebody else up on the wedge, and Derek Mason was the kick returner. So when we ran this special play, I was in there on some, and then the coach started taking me out and putting Frank Wycheck in, and so uh, just so happened that play happened in the game. Frank Wycheck went out wide. Lorenzo Neal came into my spot, and the ball got kicked right to Lorenzo Neal. He caught it, sort of handed it back to Frank. Frank took a couple steps and threw it over to Kevin Dyson, and Kevin Dyson ran. So, I mean, if I was actually in there, I would have actually caught it and handed it to Lorenzo. So Frank sort of stole, my place in history, as far as being on that play. But that was probably the craziest play ever because we had dominated Buffalo pretty much the whole game. Doug Flutie was benched before the game, and Rob Johnson came in. It was a big controversy about that. Bruce Smith was on that team, Thurman Thomas, and they just had a great defense. It was just a battle the whole day, and we had the lead, and then they went down and scored, and we had 15 seconds left, and we called that crazy play, and it worked. So that sort of catapulted us to the Super Bowl.
That cracks me up actually when I hear that. So we know you do a lot of charity work. I always go to your charity events and such. They're always fun. I tell everyone to come. So can you, and hopefully I get everyone to come this time.
Yeah.
So you have any coming up or?
I'm actually, I was just exchanging emails with some people now. We're going to do just some stuff at Kroger's on Tuesday night. We're going to host about 10 to 15 families. We're going to give them gift cards and let them go on a little shopping spree for some Thanksgiving food. We're going to have some players come out, Frosty Rucker, Pat Sims. I talked to Michael Johnson. He's coming out. I got to call young Andrew Hawkins, young baby Hawk, and try to get him out. Just some of the guys that I still hang out with. So, we're going to do that. I like doing stuff around Thanksgiving, with our foundation. We always do the bowling events.
Yep.
We're actually planning a big clothing drive for Frosty Rucker, his third annual clothing drive for the Salvation Army. Last year, they raised, I think they collected about 26,000 articles of clothing, and this year they're trying to, the kids at this high school are trying to beat it. So that's really what we got going right now. I'm sure we'll do something for Christmas, things like that. So we try to stay busy. We haven't done as much this year because a lot of the guys that we work with, they aren't here. Jonathan Joseph, Antoine Odom, we've done a lot of things with in the past, and I've been busy myself. So, but we do have those Thanksgiving stuff coming up in Frosty Rucker's clothing drive.
All right. So, I'll be there in June for your bowling event.
Nice. I'm trying to make that bigger this year, too. So,
all right.
I'm going to give you the details.
Every time I come, it's a big thing,
That's right.
All right. So, thanks for coming on. I know you're busy with the newborn. And
thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Appreciate
and
that, man.
I thank you for coming on. And hopefully we can have you on soon again. So, you have any websites you want to promote, John?
No, I'm on Twitter. I usually don't pump my sites.
Yeah. AllProBlogger.com. Best site
Yeah,
ever.
I do a sports blog, allproblogger.com. I actually do a blog on Tumblr, which is it's called Off the Record. There's a lot of not personal stuff, but just a whole lot of photos that I take and a lot of old pictures that I've had throughout the years. I'm starting doing more stuff on there. So if you go on my Twitter bio, you'll see a link for you'll see a link for my Tumblr account. So it's just a little non-sports kind of stuff that I'm into. So that's what I'm doing a lot of now. I don't tweet as much. I do a lot of that.
Yeah. All right. At John Thornton, you probably will follow him.
John, thanks a lot, man. We really
No
appreciate
problem,
it.
man. You guys have a good show.
Thank you,
Thanks
John.
for coming on,
Keep
John.
it up, man. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
John Thornton, everyone. Class act on the field, class act off the field.
He's
Tom,
great. I love that guy.
you
We might have
love
to
him,
go
right?
to the. We might have to go to the bowling thing.
You
with
gotta come to the bowling thing. It's the most fun.
Sandlot
And we could
Sports
get
Talk
we
have a
could
team.
get a top shelf lane sponsored
Nice.
Sponsored by
lane. It's
someone.
fun. Ask Danny. We got Danny loves. He's on the Cincinnati.
Is it like a tournament, Tom? I mean,
Oh yeah. Well,
'cause
it's
we might
fun.
win.
We might win. We're gonna play.
If I go, we'll win.
Hey, I beat them all last time.
So that's John Thornton, everyone. We're going to continue following John and supporting his mission and his charity work. Sandlot Sports Talk, TopShelf Network. We're going to get into the meat of our show now. As always, we're going to do a quick rundown. We have our hot stove. We're going to talk about relative current event topics. We have the Truth freestyle. Truth's going to rap again today. He tried not to. He said, maybe I'm not going to do it.
He didn't want to do it a week. He didn't want to make it a week.
He doesn't want to get put in a box. He's a peacock. We got to let him fly, right? He doesn't want to be typecasted as that guy that does the funny stuff. But Tom, it's what you're about, man.
Yeah.
And we love it. We have the 3 and out. Tom and Anthony go head to head. Tom is up 1-0. He won last week.
Yeah.
Anthony's got to try and make a
I'm more
comeback.
prepared
I'm
this
gonna
week.
try. I'm gonna try to pick my lock of the week to actually win.
When we do our lock of the weeks.
I won last week, so I don't need to. I'm playing with house money.
I did say the Seahawks would win. We'll just throw it
You
out
did.
there. I did say
I did have them with the points this week. I did think about that.
Oh, there's some credibility on the
Yeah.
show. We also have the great Sports Mind. Anthony's going to do his rant, and then we're going to cap it off with the buzzer beater. Getting into actually, before we dive into the hot stuff, let me tell you about this. This is what I wanted to share with you. So I've had a rough week, and I was thinking about this. It ties to sports. Follow me. Had a rough couple of months, right? I feel like there's a dark cloud following me around,
Right.
like Charlie Brown. Someone breaks into my
it's
car
like
last week.
What they take?
They took my GPS and they took my bag from work that had files in it.
Why do they want your files?
I don't
Sounds like
know.
an inside job. Somebody you
It's
work
not
with.
like it's not like I have some kind of high profile job where these files mean anything. Shattered my wind. I show up with my 2-year-old daughter and my windshield, my passenger side window's shattered, and she's like, broken. I'm like,
Yeah.
you damn right it's broken. Between that, some things in the personal life, work is tough. I'm not catching a break. And I was thinking about this. I was like, I am one bad day away from just walking into a church and saying, dude, what's up? What's going on? What are you doing to me?
You're about to Tim Tebow?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking
You're
this is
about
what
to do the,
when all these athletes I've made fun of because they found God or they, it's all God. I'm a step away from being that guy. I'm telling you.
Works for Tim Tebow.
And I'm going to Tebow now from everywhere I go. Tebowing everywhere. Taking a bow. So I'm hoping some good luck comes
That's
my
like
way.
when my car got broken into last year and they stole my McDonald's pieces for my Monopoly.
Oh, man.
It's not like I won. It's not like I had Boardwalk and some
What'd they get? Like
What'd they get? Like a free French fry?
free parfait?
I would have bought them a free French fry.
They got a parfait, I think.
Ooh,
I don't
free egg
even
McMuffin.
Ooh, parfait. Like I was going to get that anyway.
All right, that was my little feel bad for me fest. Now we can go into the show, actually. So first on the hot stove, Rex Ryan, the coach we all love, the coach we love to hate. Rex Ryan's dropping F-bombs left and right.
So what else is new?
And now he's trying a little reverse psychology, right? He's saying he's been wrong all these years when he says that they're guaranteeing Super Bowls and they're the team to beat. So he said it's over, the playoffs are not going to happen, and he's pretty much telling his team they're terrible.
Yeah, but then yesterday, what does he do? After he says that, he goes and starts making fun of Tim Tebow.
Mm-hmm.
He was running the practice. He said, practice was fast because all we did was run out the clock.
And that's the funny thing. So my thought is, I'm just going to give my thought, and you guys can chime in. The New York fan base, right, is not a fan base that is going to react well to this. They've been loyal to Rex Ryan since he came. This is not a town that likes to be entertained. It's a town that wants winning. They want production. And right now, it's not going to happen. Right now, Rex Ryan is making a laughingstock out of this team.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what he's saying to the media that he thinks that this is going to go well for his team. So once again, foot in the mouth. Your thoughts, Rex Ryan, and also, do the Jets even have a chance?
Why would you now, like Tim Tebow? You can't. The guy wins, okay? You're going there. You should blow out that team by 30 points. You're a great team. The Jets are a great team. I don't like to admit it, but they are a good team. And now you talk. It's like going into the Lions' den and like waking up the lion, like poking him with a stick. Instead of just going there quietly, take what you got to do, get out of town. Then you're off for 10 days. Go take your wife shopping in the city around the holidays, Thanksgiving parade. Have fun. But now you're going in there and you're provoking this guy. The guy who obviously Jesus and God love, and you're cursing and you're making
Tebow's
a
got
mockery
God
of
in
him.
his back pocket.
Darrelle Revis is saying, "Oh, I hope I don't fall asleep back there." Like, why are you provoking this guy?
The funny thing is, Denver wins. They have the same record as the Jets.
I know, that's crazy.
Despite Tim Tebow.
That is crazy.
Despite the lack of a really strong run game.
It's like I bash Eli, I bash Tebow. Every time I bash somebody, they do great.
Hey, Anthony, what are your thoughts? Jets, Rex Ryan?
Well, I think Rex, the greatest line that Rex had is, I was telling you guys before the show, was when they asked him about Sanchez calling the timeout with 23 seconds on the play clock, and he called it the dumbest play in NFL history. That was my favorite line.
That's great support, right?
I love that line. But And then the other line, I mean, at this point, I think everybody just takes Rex with a grain of salt. He just likes to talk. If he keeps predicting a Super Bowl, maybe eventually he's got to be right. But you look at what Belichick said. Somebody overheard him. I read it in the paper yesterday. Belichick said something along the lines of 37 points versus the best effing defense in the league. So nobody takes him seriously, not even Belichick. Although I think Belichick does give him a little bit of respect. He has to. They beat him in the playoffs last year. But Rex is what he is. He likes to talk, and like you guys said, Denver's only a game behind them. It's a game that could be very, very tricky. Denver is always a tough place to play.
Yep.
It's who knows? Denver may decide they may run that spread, and rather than run the ball 54 times, whatever it was, you may see Tebow pull a couple down and throw a couple deep, like they did at the end of the game with Decker. You may see that early. Revis may think, okay, well, here we go again, and Decker will put it behind. I'd love to see it.
And I think big picture wise, not just looking past Denver, I think it's only a matter of time before people start turning on this guy, and he's not going to be the beloved Rex Ryan face of the Jets anymore. How long is Mark Sanchez going to put up with this, even though he's a young quarterback and he's supposed to be mentored by this guy? How long is a guy like Santonio Holmes, who's as quick to jump off the bandwagon as anybody? Plaxico is going to start running his mouth. I think this team's just going to erupt, and you're going to see it's going to be entertaining, but not for the right reasons.
What I think the Jets need, and I think that's really lacking, is you see Rex is kind of the face of everything, but they're just lacking a leader from the player's standpoint. Mm-hmm. Everybody just lets Rex do all the talking. Revis trash talks, but there's nobody just to step up as the leader. Normally it would be the quarterback who would step up and be like the face of the team. The coach should never be the face of your team, even though as great as Belichick is. Brady is still the face of the Patriots. Right. You go to the Jets, and who's the name they want to flash up? It's Rex Ryan.
Well, look at the makeup of the team. Where's the personality for that team? Mark Sanchez he has a really good personality. He speaks. Well, he says what he's supposed to say. He speaks like a leader should speak. Outside of that, there's no one on that team that has the charisma.
And you would think And you would think Tomlinson in San Diego was a leader there, and you don't hear from the guy. He's kind of taking a total back seat. I don't know. I'm looking for somebody. Santonio Holmes is, a guy who you thought would mature, and it really hasn't. He's still kind of childish. Plexico is the one guy who, maybe jail hardened him up, but he seems like the most professional of all the guys on the team.
And that's a sad thing. Tom, you want to wrap this up?
Did you hear that actually Rex is going to be in a Adam Sandler movie, and he's actually he's playing a Patriots fan.
And it's these things that you can do when you're a Super Bowl team, or you can do when you
win a Super Bowl,
when you have a strong
you're losing
record
to that team.
Exactly. New York's not going to fall for this anymore. We're going to jump ahead. We talk about things outside of professional sports. We don't only talk about the pros. College basketball's here. Wow. The big news: Coach K. He wins his record-setting 903rd game. The man known simply as Coach K became Division I's winningest coach when Duke, 6th ranked, beat Michigan State 74-69 on Tuesday night. The big thing with Coach K has always been great coach, but really, is he just a product of his system? I think he's a phenomenal coach. I think he's always had a strong game plan, and as successful as Duke has been, they're not a factory for successful NBA pro athletes. No. You got Carlos Boozer has probably been one of the more recent successful ones. Outside of that, a lot of guys who just couldn't cut it in the pros. So I think there's credit deserved there. But your thoughts on, is he really the best ever? He passed Bob Knight, and that's a big name. Is Coach K the best?
I think in today's day and age, where with one and done players, and you look at Duke has a hard time recruiting the top players in the country because their academic standards are much higher than other schools. You look at Kentucky and the amount of one and done players that they have. They go there for 1 year, one semester really. They don't even show up for the second semester because they declare for the NBA draft. So it's harder for them to recruit. So Duke gets I kind of compare them to like the Stanford of the East Coast.
Yeah.
They're getting the educated, smart, good student athletes. And I think when you look at most of the time from Duke, guys are staying at least 2, 3, 4 years. Coach K gets to wear. That's why I think the success comes is the fact that he gets these guys for 3 to 4 years. He's able to keep teams together, whereas other teams like you look at Kentucky, you have 5 guys just leave. Whole starting lineup leaves for the NBA. So I think in today's day and age, where all the top recruits aren't going to Duke, where a team needs to be put together and a system needs to work, because you're going to have guys 3 and 4 years and guys that not necessarily are going to translate into great NBA players. It's just, it's his system and the way he's able to, nurture these guys through 2, 3, and 4 years together that he's gotten his wins, and it hasn't been on talent alone.
Dom.
I just think it's amazing that he started at West Point with Bob Knight coaching him, and he was mentored by him, and he passed him for the all-time wins. It's just it's like the guy. It's like the student becomes a teacher. It's an amazing story, I think, and he is a good coach. I mean, he like Shane Battier, J.J. Redick. These guys don't really.
Trajan Langdon, remember him?
Trajan Langdon.
Did Jay Bellis ever
Cherokee
make it
Parks?
Cherokee Parks,
Jay
Christian
Bellis
Laettner.
ever make it in the NBA?
No, I mean, you'd probably say the best player he's probably put out is probably Grant Hill.
Probably.
Oh, yeah,
Probably the
definitely.
best Duke player to
Christian
make it.
Laettner was good too.
Well,
I
Laettner
mean,
had a solid NBA career.
Yeah,
He wasn't as
yeah.
good as everybody thought he was going to be, but
Yeah.
he had a couple of double averages, for his career. So he had some
Bobby
solid.
Hurley was a real bust.
What was that car accident that killed him?
Point is, I think you guys make good points, and especially that the players remain loyal to him, and that's very
Yes.
unique in today's world, where a player will stay 4 years because they really value Coach K's opinion
Right.
on getting an education.
And they're there for an
sticking it out.
education. That's the main thing. It's not like Florida State and Miami where it's basically they're not there for school.
Right.
They're there to go pro. Whereas Duke, they're there for education and an opportunity.
Show
maybe.
me the money. We're gonna jump ahead. Last one. We're gonna finish off with this, and it's gonna be a topic on every show. Penn State still under duress. The allegations against Jerry Sandusky. Some news has transpired since we met. The coach Paterno, the legend, axed, not coaching anymore. Has now got to prepare for a visiting court. We got Jerry now finally speaking to the media, and this is what we're gonna focus on today. And this has me. I'm hoping I don't curse during this. I'm sorry if I do, but. Basically, Jerry finally addresses the media. I don't know exactly who coached this guy because these guys, when they talk to the media, they get coached, right?
Oh, yeah,
So
definitely.
obviously, someone met with Jerry and said, "Hey, Jer, let's sit down and talk about this." Right? This is what you don't want to say. This is what you do want to say.
And he got it wrong.
No comment. You're best friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Whose idea was this?
I don't know, but he's on the. Did you guys listen? On the
Yes,
radio.
I heard it.
Yeah.
On the radio, and within there, if you just take out segments, you can make a nice little story about how he showered with boys,
Touch their legs.
touched their legs,
Tickled them in soap fights,
sliding around.
sliding around on his stomach naked.
Love little boys. He did say that at one point. I love kids. Yeah, we'll kind of get in that picture, buddy.
Yeah.
The big thing is it's really sad, but listening to this guy talk, wasn't on the fence. I had my opinions, but this guy really threw me over the fence when he was talking. You would get a feeling just from his tone of voice, the way he started over some words, the way he was cautious about how he said things, even the way he said, "Well, I love children. I love young people." It was disturbing. It felt like
very
guilty
disturbing.
as charged, even though these are still allegations.
Yeah.
Right. Penn State College. The new news is that McQuarrie, that this is the wide receiver coach who came
Yes.
forward, who actually saw these alleged actions taking place in the shower, has now said yes, he did. He made sure that it stopped because that was the big question. Why didn't he stop it? It stopped, and he says now he also told police in State College. Police are denying that. Would not be surprised, given the history of Penn State, that Penn State has their hands in the law enforcement's pockets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it is. Coach Paterno, they all said it. Fans, players alike, ran that town. Any closing thoughts on this, other than this guy really is presenting himself as a dirtbag, number one?
Oh,
And even though these things are alleged, I get the feeling that it's not going to be alleged for long.
Oh no, it's gonna come out. It's too much dirty laundry, and it's just disgusting, disturbing. And I don't even know why his lawyer let him talk.
That was like I just said. I don't know who told him to go on, but these are allegations where, it's like, even if you were on the fence, these are allegations where if it was. Say it was you, Mike, or you, Tom. Somebody's coming up to you. I'm saying somebody accused you of these things.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Somebody accused you
better.
of this. You're going to be
Alleged.
outside your house if cameras are out there saying,
Yeah.
angry and
Oh,
fuming. Your face will be. I don't know who put this out there. You've seen just the opposite. And
Smiling.
I don't.
on TV.
I mean, I'm listening to the interview. I'm watching it on TV, listening to the interview, and I'm like, just the way it's going on. I'm like, this guy sounds like somebody who's got a kid with him right now. It's like, that's the way it sounded.
Hey, what was that in the background? Nothing.
Yeah, just shh.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's it's a really sad thing.
You know what my mom always told me, and this is what I took away from his interview, because there was a point in the interview when he said, when he was talking about being innocent, right, and they were asking him, he said that he wants his lawyer to have a chance. He said, "Everyone, please wait. Give my lawyer a chance to defend myself."
You defend yourself.
Right. He also said, "I know it's going to be difficult." Right? My mom always said to me, if you're innocent, you have nothing to worry about.
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
truly innocent,
Mm-hmm.
When I was playing when I was 8 years old and I was swinging a bat in the house and I put a hole in the wall, I denied that. But if you were truly innocent, what do you have to worry about? Why is he panicking? Why is he saying this is going to be... If you think it's going to be difficult, that's because not only are you not innocent, but you know that the odds are stacked up against you.
That is so true.
My opinion. We're going to jump off this. And just in closing, right up here, this is why I avoid public showers, because I don't need a 60-year-old man slipping and sliding and
Slip and slide.
and touching my leg.
How big was that shower? I was trying to figure.
don't know.
Without hitting your head on the wall.
Wouldn't that hurt sliding naked on your stomach across
Not
the
if you have
shower?
all the showers on. I was trying to picture it. I'm like,
Oh, you use a little baby oil, you get prepped for that.
I didn't even think of that. You're
I
right.
didn't. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
As always, we always talk about, State College and we talk about unfortunate acts there, but then we go right into
Something
the Truth
fun.
Freestyle.
Something fun.
Because we like to switch it up.
Yay.
The Truth's going to freestyle today. This is our segment where Tom the Truth, without any knowledge of the
what I'm
subject
doing.
or the content, is going to rap. I'm also going to give him a word he has to use.
A word.
Yeah, remember last time? It
Oh,
was
serendipitous.
serendipitous?
Yes.
Right. Today, it's a nice, easy word.
I hope I can pronounce it this time.
Of course. Very, very familiar in the world of hip-hop music.
Oh, yeah?
Your words, it's actually a couple of words.
It
It's
better not be
three.
dirty.
It's 3 words. Skeet, skeet, skeet.
Oh, my God.
All right?
Skeet.
Skeet, skeet.
Like
Anthony has no
Anthony,
clue.
look that up later on the
Skeet,
Wikipedia
skeet,
page.
Skeet.
Skeet, skeet, skeet.
Like
And I hope
ski ball.
That is very, like skee ball.
skeet, skeet,
Mom,
skeet.
skee ball.
The topic you got, Tom? Suck for Luck campaign.
Suck for luck.
And anyone who's listening to this doesn't know about Suck for Luck. It's about the teams who are losing so they can purposely draft. Well, they're purposely losing so they can draft Andrew Luck. The next big thing, the next John Elway, apparently.
I think Chandler Harnish is the next.
I want to
big
see
thing.
if you can go through this song without using another word that rhymes with luck. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Ouch.
I would have difficulty. I just
All right.
stop in the first sentence.
Parental advisory notice coming. Oh, here we go.
Oh, wow, this is a slow jam.
Today was a good day.
Yes.
Well,
Are
Ice
you gonna be the
Cube for-
vocals?
I'm going to be your hype man, as I always am. Look, what's going up?
So the Colts are skeeting downhill. Jim Irsay's tweeting, I wish he would stop. They signed Lefevre and Morgan Trent, former Bengals. They are spent. But it's okay, because they're sucking for luck, getting that number 1 pick so they can be the best at the game. Peyton Manning has a bad neck. Yo, they should have signed John Beck. He could
Beck?
do better than that guy that they have now. Painter, Kerry Collins, $4 million stolen. Skeet, on your face. Jim Irsay, you are a disgrace. That's all I got.
Today was a good day. Tom, amazing.
Skeet.
You got to clap in the room. I'm not going to clap because I know you could have done better.
I could have done much
You didn't
better.
include Jim Caldwell's name in there. I'm upset.
High
Sorry.
expectations. You
He's not
also...
even worthy of me announcing him.
That's good.
I got to check the stats on this, but I believe you said skeet and not skeet.
No, he did. He started with
I
skeet,
started
skeet,
with
skeet.
skeet.
There's
I
skeet,
ended with
skeet,
skeet.
I stand corrected.
It was
Tom.
right away. You got it out of
It
the way
would have
early.
been better if I would have used the Little John beat. Then I could have sang the whole song.
If you're listening to this and you're a big fan,
Jim
please let us know.
Caldwell.
We've had some feedback.
You
had
come
good
up with a
feedback.
word and a topic.
Let us know.
Hopefully, I get to rap about turkeys and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, these these topics are all fan selected. So, topic word, you want to let us know what it is, we'll put it on for you.
I will rap,
As always, Tom, thank you.
and it will be garbage.
We're going 3 and out. You guys
I gotta
ready?
do better in 3 and out this week.
Yeah, Anthony slipped. Tom is
Tom.
officially 1-0, buddy. You proud?
Somehow he gets every question to go back to the Bengals,
Hey,
regardless of what the topic is.
And I get to make my analogies.
your analogies. As always, in 3 and out, 3 questions. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, right?
These questions better not be bad.
Head to head. There's always 2 pretty sports-related serious questions, and there's always 1 kind of let's have some fun. So we're
Yeah.
going to start off. Question number 1. Outside of our typical traditional sports, the UFC debuted on Fox. And despite the fans feeling robbed by the quick conclusion, mixed martial arts is on the rise. Coincidentally, the same week, in boxing, Pacquiao goes the distance with Marquez in what was a pretty good fight. Anthony, you're arguing for MMA. Tom, you're arguing for boxing. Who's king of the ring? Anthony, take it, buddy.
It's got to be MMA. I mean, with every boxing fight, the only time you really hear about it is when there's a controversial decision. And what did we have Saturday night? Another controversial decision. And why? Because there would be no money on a Marquez Mayweather. Everybody wants to see Pacquiao Mayweather, so he had to win. Whereas the MMA, most of the time, it's going to end in a knockout. And these guys are out there for blood. You can't fake punching someone in the face and putting them in headlocks or an ankle
They
or an
do in
ankle or elbow
wrestling.
lock. So it's MMA all the way. There's no, as of right now, there's little corruption. As in boxing, is totally corrupt.
Duly noted. Tom Harnish.
I would rather watch two guys standing there punching each other half naked than two half naked guys wrestling each other and rubbing their genitalia on each other. Thank you.
See, always finds a way to just like
Simply amazing.
yeah.
If point goes to Anthony. Unfortunately, Tom, there was not. You said you did prep, and there wasn't much content behind that argument, other than
You should run for president because you just totally go away from the topic and people are amazed and enthralled in what you said.
amazing.
No facts, no nothing. Just like wow, he
There's
said
two
something
guys
about.
standing up half naked, punching each other. There's two guys rolling on the floor naked. What would you rather see?
I have to choose.
Yes. Why would you want to? Yeah.
I plead the fifth.
All right.
Anthony, point.
All right.
Question number 2. Paterno was released, as we said. No more coaching in Penn State. Is his legacy tarnished? Tom, you're arguing that it is. Anthony, you're arguing that the coach's legacy is not tarnished. Tom, take it.
Of course it's tarnished. Every time I look at that old guy's face, I'm going to think of little boys getting touched in the shower. So, and tarnish rhymes with harnish. So that's always a bad thing. So then anyway, he won a lot of games, but like I said, he's very tarnished.
Anthony, please.
Joe Paterno was a great coach before all this came out. Even before 1998, the guy was known as one of the greatest coaches. Unfortunately, this is going to stick with him, but it shouldn't tarnish any of his legacy and the amount of wins that he has as Penn State head coach. That didn't translate over to it's nothing that was, whether it was illegal recruiting, and it's nothing to do with what was on the field. So it shouldn't tarnish the, as 804, how many wins does he have?
You don't know that? You're not getting a point for this one.
Well, then sorry.
Good argument, Anthony, and I agree with you until I heard that harnish rhymes with tarnish, and I can't stop thinking of that. I didn't even listen to what you said.
Yeah, thank you.
Point, Tom.
Yes.
Oh, as always, we're tied up. Oh, it just always happens that way.
Oh, I wonder how.
And we're left with question 3, which is the most serious of them all. So there I was watching Kansas and Kentucky play, right?
Yeah.
And I saw what might be the ugliest basketball player I've ever seen. Obviously, they're not on the court because of their looks. But can we pull up the picture here? This is a picture of a very good
I just
basketball
saw it,
player,
actually.
Anthony Davis.
He's
Anthony,
good? I don't know. I don't watch this.
Anthony Davis is very good. He's
Is
going to
he?
be a good player. There he is. Look at the face that only a mother can love. What do we got here? All right, so you're both arguing. Is he the ugliest? Best argument wins.
I don't think he's the ugliest. I mean, all he needs is his unibrow shaved because right now he just looks like a praying mantis. He gets that shape. But the ugliest basketball player ever to play is Sam Cassell. He looks like an alien from outer space. But if we're arguing ugliest sports player of all time, that's got to be Otis Nixon, former baseball player.
Otis Nixon.
I like to bring up all the ugly players.
Well, yeah. You have a scrapbook of ugly players.
Oh,
right?
I
That's-
collect them. It's my hobby.
All right. Well, the Otis Nixon. I
Andy
like the Otis Nixon
Stankiewicz
argument.
is my favorite.
Excellent. Anthony, this is a tough one, man.
It is a tough one.
Tom
but-
brought pictures to this one, just so you know.
I don't have pictures. The one guy, I don't think he's the ugliest, but I would say most oddly shaped had to be Kevin Willis. I've never seen a 7-foot guy with Triceratops arms. His arms barely reached his waist. It was just very oddly shaped.
What's so ugly about fitness?
Just saying, the guy was 46 years old and still playing. I'm gonna go with Kevin Willis as the most oddly shaped athlete. I don't have.
Oddly
That wasn't
I'm
the
not looking
question.
at athletes' faces. I'm sorry.
I think I want to.
You know, Tom wins again. Tom picks the point. It all doesn't help that Tom was here 3 hours early picking up pictures of ugly
Yeah.
players. So I mean,
I do my homework
Anthony, you're down 2-0, buddy.
next
It's
week.
comeback
next
time.
week.
Next week I'll be all.
We'll do a Thanksgiving one.
Tom, how's it feel? 2-0, undefeated.
It's crazy. I'm great. I'm going for 3 next week.
Awesome. You want to make your victory speech?
My victory speech last week I said kids don't do drugs. This week, kids don't drink and drive.
Excellent. I was really
Especially
scared.
with the holidays coming up.
Yeah, you might get pulled over.
I was really worried you were going to say last week I said kids don't do drugs. This week, kids do some jokes.
No, I
many
would
as you
never say
can.
that. That is not. We are a family
This is
show.
a family show.
Exactly. All right, greatest sportsman, you got a rant for us. This is where
Yes.
Anthony, who in his previous life was an angry Jewish man, we actually have proof of this.
Yeah,
We do.
I'm quite angry tonight too.
and he
There's
is
so many
very
things I
angry.
want
He's
to rant
fired
about.
up.
Anthony, let's hear it. What's your rant?
Well, my rant tonight is I debated what I was going to talk about, but after Rob Gronkowski's great performance on Sunday Night Football, it dawned on me what I really wanted to rant about. It's the way the tight end position has gone in the NFL. I heard Rob Gronkowski's name mentioned with Jimmy Graham. as second in fantasy points as far as tight ends go. Jimmy Graham is not a tight end. Jimmy Graham lines up as a wide receiver on, I would say, about 95% of plays. I've never seen the guy line up on the line of scrimmage, whereas a guy like Rob Gronkowski, who's a tight end, lines up in the backfield, lines up on the line of scrimmage, is usually the lead blocker on all those bubble screens for Wes Welker. That's a true tight end, the guy who could receive and block. In a day and age today, with now we call them hybrid tight ends, I just call them slow wide receivers. You have guys like Jimmy Graham, Jermichael Finley, Antonio Gates, Kellen Winslow, guys who don't line up on the line of scrimmage or block anyone, but just go out and receive, and yet they're still considered tight ends. Who classifies these guys as a tight end? I think you should have to line up on the line of scrimmage on the line at least more than 50% of the time to be considered a tight end in the league. It's something the league needs to look into, or else all these Kellen Winslow Sr., all his records are going to be tarnished by these guys now who don't play the position.
And tarnish rhymes with harnish.
Tarnish rhymes with harnish.
And that's not a good thing.
And that's my rant.
Do you agree? I agree with Anthony. I think he's onto something here.
He is. Because the Bengals have a guy like that, Chase Kaufman. He's on the practice squad. If you don't block, you don't play. You need
That's
to
right.
block for the running game.
If you don't block,
need to
you
block.
don't play.
You don't block, you don't play.
I like that, Tom. Thanks for that rant, Anthony.
It was great.
We're flying through. We're almost done here. We're coming into the home stretch. We're going to pick our locks. But before we pick our locks, let us say we picked locks last week. And the whole point and theory behind picking a lock is that
They win.
no matter what, it's going to happen. I picked Philadelphia, and they miss half their team. Tom,
I picked against Carson Palmer because I thought that was a safe bet.
you never bet against Carson.
And then Vincent Jackson decides he's not going to look for the ball and just runs into the end zone like la-di-da.
Yeah, you know the way VJax is. He disappears from time to time.
Anthony, you got yours right, though.
I did.
And you picked Green Bay over my Vikings.
Yeah, well, I took abuse fight. After I was only on one, I got to hear from Tom. Well, you picked Green Bay. Pick him. What are you going to pick him again this week?
Well, that's the point of the lock, Tom. You picked a team you think's going to win.
So this week,
Fine.
This week, I'll start off with my lock. Since I picked Green Bay last week and
Pick
went
him
out on
again.
a limb, I'm not going to pick him again.
You should.
I'm going to go ahead and pick the St. Louis Rams as my lock at home over the
Wow.
Seahawks. The Rams.
Are you not picking them because they're
Rams.
playing the Bucks?
Look how defensive he is
Well,
right now. Look how angry he
If
is.
I take them, I'll hear, oh, well, just pick the 17-point spread. Go ahead. No,
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna go ahead and take the Rams as my lock. And Sam Bradford has his breakout game this week.
All right.
I like it.
All right. I'm not going that risky because I'm 0-1.
Yeah.
Tom, what do you
I'm
got?
playing with house money. Do whatever I want.
I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. They're a 3-point underdog versus the Dolphins. I don't know why. Maybe they don't think they're going to travel well. Maybe they know that Fitzpatrick just got his money. He's not going to win. But I think Rocco's Buffalo Bills, they're my lock of the week.
Sucker bet.
Broncos, Buffalo Bills. Sucker. Yeah,
Look
Anthony,
at this guy.
They're just like,
Man.
no, I know. I'm saying it's 3 points. Everybody's
You
looking at it and
know-
say, why are they 3-point underdogs?
That's what I said.
We give the guy a segment, and here he is now. He thinks
He's
he
ranting
thinks
the
he's
whole show.
he thinks he's the cat's pajamas over there.
He is.
So I'm gonna go get my own show, just a rant for an hour. But my griefs with everything,
You can be like
sports,
that
life.
guy on with the sunglasses on the public access show.
I'll put my Santa hat on and do it.
I'm going with Detroit as my lock. You guys even know who Detroit's playing?
Yes,
Yes.
Carolina.
You don't like Cam?
He's looking at me like, is that right?
Cam.
Cam.
I love Cam, but I think Detroit right now, it's all mental with them, right?
Yeah.
They're
fighting with
being
each
called
other.
dirty.
Yeah.
Now Stafford's getting involved in the dirtiness. I think that they are dirty. And the last time I saw a really good dirty team, it was in Oakland, and they were amazing. So I'm going to ride with the Detroit
What
way.
year was that?
Who knows? I don't know the year.
Oh, it wasn't like recent.
No, it's been a while. All right, so that's it for the show. I'm going to close out with the buzzer beater. My buzzer beater, unfortunately, is going to bring us back to State College. It's really just,
My.
it's not so much about State College. It's just what we can learn from it, because everything is a learning experience. Even the most epic of tragedies, correct? Am I
Yeah.
right?
Very good.
Learning experience. I really want parents, and I don't think any parents listening to this show, because there's probably,
My parents are.
out of the 5 people who are listening, maybe there's a parent. But ultimately,
You're a
parents.
parent.
I'm a parent. That's true, and this is coming from a parent.
You're
Ultimately,
listening to yourself.
we need to take this as a learning experience and a teaching experience for our children. We need to understand that despite where we live, if we live in a small town, just because there's a team, a coach that runs that town and is idolized by everyone, we still need to teach our kids that the idols are really in that house they live in.
And
that's their
stranger
parents.
danger.
Stranger danger. Their parents, their family, their friends, their community, but it doesn't have to be an athlete. It doesn't have to be some big guy on top of a mountain looking down and saying, I'm amazing, I'm great, idolize me. The idols should be in that house. Be idols for your kids. That's the
Exactly.
message for the
Well
today.
put.
I like it.
Right?
Excellent.
The more you know.
We're closing
And
out now.
make them shower at home.
Make them shower, yeah.
Yeah.
Avoid public
Shower
showers.
in your bathing suit.
There you go, even better.
Because you don't know what kind of diseases roam in those showers anyway.
Yeah, wear flip-flops.
You got it. Thank you, Top Shelf Network. We had a great time as always.
Yes.
We'll be back next week.
We hope.
We'll try to do it even better.
And thank you, John Thornton, for coming on. We'll hope to have you on again soon.
Thank you, John.